Hello everybody, what's going on? My name is Ty. Today I'm going to be talking about City Skyline. If you don't know what City Skylines is, then you've probably been living in a hole for the last couple years. City Skylines is probably one of the most notorious city building games. I mean, there's other city building games like, I guess Banish isn't really considered a city builder, but it is a city builder simulator kind of. But I digress from that. It's basically, you have to run your own economy system, kind of like you have to build stuff, but things cost money. People need things like food, or not food, water, electricity, fire departments, hospitals, and whatnot. And then when you're doing your stuff, you have districts, you have housing districts, you have shop districts, industry districts, and they all do their own separate things. Like you have the low tier, and then once you level or get a higher population, you get the higher tier stuff. And then you have your power grids and your plumbing grids, and you have to make sure everyone gets power and everyone gets water and sewage. And it's a pretty simple game as long as you stick to the basics. Like, you got your districts, but then you can put, I think they're called districts? Yeah. It's like a policy district. So instead of it being like a straight up district that only builds shops and stuff, you can kind of not customize but give them policies. Like right here, I think I nicknamed it Hippie Hill. Narcotics, drugs were legal basically, which increased tourism but also increased the need of police, which I had police stations under control. So, and then you can demand them to have smoke detectors, and then have them monitor the power usage and the water usage. I mean, there's just littler things in there that are pretty nice. Now, the big thing about City Skylines is that it has a lot of small things that can impact your society or your city. Like, traffic is a huge one. If people can't go places, they can't work, they can't buy things. And the interstate or the highway is it's basically your arteries. That is what keeps new people coming in and other people leaving, I guess, but mostly it's to keep people coming in. And so if you just keep building, it's going to cause more traffic. I made my industrial area above me because it creates more pollution and a lot of noise away from my actual towns, but they had to cross the highway. Now that's an issue because we have a huge amount of the population crossing the highway, causing a huge backup on the highway. As your city grows and grows, you only have so much play space to play in, but once you hit a certain level or population size, you can actually buy more land for relatively cheap. I think it only costs a couple grand, or I think like $5 to buy them. This one costs $7, and this one costs $4. So I go ahead and buy them both because I still need to expand, and I don't want to have to deal with the highway to the north as much, because I have all this area to the south, plus I also have water real estate, and that way I can actually put a dam down there to get more power. See, I was thinking to myself, oh look, a dam, free energy, what? But what I didn't realize is this is going to cause some issues. After putting the dam, I realized that my water for the river, which is the source of all my water, was getting pretty low. And so I didn't think it was going to completely drain it, because right there's where my water is, and then to the north is my waste. So that's where all the doo-doo goes. So I saw that. I went ahead and decided I wanted to play with the canal. So I was like, okay, I'll just go ahead and drop a canal, let some of that water in, because this dam isn't really needed at full power. And so I went ahead and created the canal, a large canal, so I could have water going into it, so I can still have water for my people. And thinking to myself that this would solve the issue, and I'd basically be done. But that wasn't the case. Going to look at my water pumps, looking up the dam, you can see it's pretty bone dry. But right there, you only get to see it for a second, my doo-doo has moved into my water supply. And my water pumps are pumping the water through the pipes to the people, which causes this pandemic and kills almost half my population. But that's a good thing, because it's something I learned not to do, was to pump out all the water, because you're constantly producing water from the doo-doo and you don't want to contaminate your water supply. So I didn't take that in consideration before I did this, and I knew once the water from the canal went in there, the water would go back down the stream, so it would fix itself, which it did, but at the sacrifice of a majority of my population. So now let's actually talk about the game itself. There is a slight learning curve for the controls and the hotkeys, because there's quite a few hotkeys. The tutorial's a little vague, but that's not really an issue, because you basically learn the game in an hour, and then you know how to do your plumbing, you know how to do your electricity, you know how to do your districts, and then there's little things that you can do, like tips and tricks that you can look up that helps produce money, because the capital is the capital, and you need money to build stuff. Now there are other things like metros that you can have, like a bus stop, and your people like that because there's not always so much traffic, which helps you so you don't have to remove a whole road, because oh my gosh, removing a road and putting a double laned road is so much work, because you have to remove so much. You're gonna have to start removing houses, you're gonna have to remove all the roads, and the roads connecting it might have issues, and it was a whole shit show when I did it. But if I was to have to rate this game, I feel comfortable at giving it a solid 92 out of 100, which this game is, I feel, well balanced and well rounded off, and then it's also basically a sandbox, so you can do whatever you want. There's quite a few cool YouTube videos out there of people doing weird things that basically break the laws of physics, but that's something else. This is a game that you can play and then put down and then come back to. Well, I wouldn't really leave it running while playing, because a lot of things can go bad really fast, because the ecosystem that you're running is so fragile. A small thing like pumping shit through the sewer or through the pipelines can kill everyone. But I mean, that's understandable. If you make a mistake like that, then your people you deserve to watch all your people die. Let me know what you guys think about City Skylines down in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think about this video. If you guys liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you guys want to see more, subscribe.